house guests, welcome back to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. It's been a minute, right? Our house guests of the day are Leslie Zaragoza-Taylor and Rachel Plato. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. We're running out of time here, but it's only $1 for a hollow, so check it out. What can be said? We missed so much while the live feeds were down. But we saw last night on the episode that Tara defeated Jed in the battle back competition, which was like, what? Crazy. I think a lot of people were expecting Jed to come back, but that was way more exhilarating to watch than I thought it would be. That challenge, just rolling 3 balls onto a little platform. Who would have thought it would be so exciting? But we also saw that Brayden won HOH. Beth and Kiefer are have-nots for the week. And then while the feeds were down, like, we missed nominations, we missed the Power Veto competition, we missed POV ceremony. All of that had already been wrapped up by the time the feeds came back after the episode last night. You know what we did see when the feeds came back? It was weird. Beth and Kiefer were sitting in this, like, fake campground setup in the backyard, sponsored by Weber, and they had Adirondack chairs, sleeping bags on this little deck, a grill prominently displayed, of course, and they were counting raccoons as they popped up over this fake little fence. So I'm assuming the raccoon counting was some sort of a punishment or a task that they had been assigned to. You know, like maybe if they count the correct amount of raccoons, they win a barbecue party for the whole house. Like, that sounds in line with what we've seen in the past, right? But the question here is, like, were the other 3 house guests supposed to be trying to distract Beth and Kiefer? Because they were, like, exercising right in front of the fence, jumping up and down with the raccoons behind the fence, giving each other spa treatments, while Beth and Kiefer were just sitting there like, like, what was going on? Maybe only one group was gonna get the barbecue. Like, if Beth and Kiefer got it right, they get it, and if they got it wrong, then, you know, Tara, and Brayden would get it. I don't know. But it definitely seemed like they were doing it on purpose, so I don't know what that was all about. If it wasn't a task, that's kind of messed up. But anyway, Beth and Kiefer were yelling and screaming a lot throughout this task. It was a lot to come back to after not having feeds for like 4 days. So they were kind of like cracking, and that's part of what the screaming was, but also like they were trying to stay focused because it was past their bedtime. They've been on slop, and yeah, it was a lot. Beth was also complaining about how bad this week has been for her. She's have-not, she's doing this task, and she's on the block. And she's talking like she's definitely going to the jury this week. So it's unclear if she's just playing that up or it's for real that, like, she's gonna be leaving this week. That's interesting. But it seems like they did the whole raccoon thing for like 2-ish hours, and then they got to go inside. So it's not like it was like a whole night of raccoon counting. But there was a little bit of game talk last night. Kiefer had a late night chat with Ty and Brayden, and Kiefer says to them, "I can't believe you guys left me out there with Beth." It was a lot. I just want to make a note, too, that during this conversation, Ty was like lying face down in the bed, and Brayden was like rubbing all over Ty, like all over his back and like his inner thigh region. What? So who knows what we missed while the feeds were down the whole time, but they were looking pretty comfy. Kiefer says that Beth was pitching to him the whole time they were outside. I feel like this is a lie, or at least an exaggeration, because I was watching the feeds live last night and I didn't really see Beth pitching to Kiefer at all. Maybe that happened before the feeds came back on. I don't know, but I didn't really see it, so I don't know what that was all about. But he says that Beth was saying that Brayden would break the tie in her favor. She just needs Kiefer's vote to stay this week. So we know that Beth and Tara are nominated. And we found out at some point last night as well that Brayden won the Power Veto, so now the HOH can play in the veto competitions. He won another comp, whoa, and he decided to not use it. He left his nominations the same, Beth and Tara up on the block. So Kiefer's telling Brayden, like, I would not make you break a tie. Like, I don't want to put you in that situation. And honestly, I don't want to say Tara's name in the diary room again. Whoa, isn't that crazy? Like, Tara just came back, and usually you see everybody try and take that person out that just came back in, but now seems like they're going for Beth. Wild. So after that conversation, Kiefer and Ty were chatting alone, and they were both saying again, like, yes, they want to vote Beth out. They can't let her get in their heads this week. They're voting her out. So then they talk about going to the final 3 with Brayden. I mean, I'd be down. So then this morning, Kiefer and Tara had a game chat in the kitchen, and Tara says to Kiefer, you have always been my number 1 in this game. Hold on. What? What about Tina? She's, what? Okay, so Kiefer says, I thought Blue Line, meaning Tina, was your number 1. Yeah. So Tara says, no, Tina was my number 1 person, like, on a personal level, but you were the first person that talked game with me. So Tara says, you know, I knew after that you were working in a bigger alliance because you got kind of distant with me, and that's why I stayed on the other side. But she lets him know I was doing work on the other side, like with the oddballs. She says Kyle and Ro were never going after Kiefer. I think that's somewhat true. Like, I think they were more focused on breaking up the throuple, but I mean, they would have gone after Kiefer at some point. But she says, you were always my first choice to work with. And, okay, there were definitely times where I was like, Tara, why are you so loyal to Kiefer when he clearly is not going to choose you over these other people? But at the same time, she's kind of, she's definitely rewriting history a little bit here because, no. No, Kiefer was not her number 1. That's crazy. So anyway, Kiefer says it's a 2 versus 2 moving forward, you know, after this week once Beth has gone, because it's going to be Kiefer and Tara versus Ty and Brayden. And we just saw last night that he was talking about going to the final 3 with Ty and Brayden. So Kiefer's just covering all of his bases here at this point. I don't think he wants Tara in the final 2 because I think he is threatened by her making it to the end and possibly winning with her resume. I don't know what her chances would be now that she's been evicted and she came back. Some people will view that as a positive, and some people will view that as a negative. So it's hard to say how the jury would view that, but I think Kiefer would definitely be nervous that he's going to lose against her. So Kiefer confirms to Tara that Beth has already tried to campaign, and he says it's not happening. They're voting her out. And Tara's like, yeah, Beth isn't good for anyone's game moving forward. And Kiefer says nobody has a clue what Beth would do. I mean, she was willing to cut her day 1 person. This is just semantics, but, like, was Jed really her day 1? Like, let's not forget, she was super close to Ty before she got with Jed. And, like, she had deals with other people, too. So I wouldn't say that Jed was, like, her number 1. Unless there's something we don't know about. I don't know. But, anyway, I get what he's saying. Like, they were super close, and she was okay with cutting him. But Tara says she'll feel better once Beth is gone. Makes sense. Okay, so then, today the feeds went down for a few hours. I'm assuming it was for the barbecue reward. Who knows? But not much else is happening so far today. As of right now, Beth is still going to be going on Thursday. I haven't seen any conversations that would lead me to believe otherwise. But we've got 2 days left until the eviction. And we'll see what the campaigning is like from Beth and Tara. We'll see. But it's a short one today, guys. That's just how it is. I'm pretty sure this is like the last week of feeds. Usually the feeds go down after the final 4 POV. So if they do what they usually do, I would think that the feeds are going to be going down either Saturday or Sunday midday-ish. But we'll see what happens. So let me know what you guys think about all this. And until next time, much love.